Well, sometimes in sport, things are just meant to be. Here at Spa-Francorchamps, we expect to see Michael Schumacher clinching a record 7th World Championship. There he is. Hold on to your seats then. When the lights go out, Schumacher will be aiming to be in 7th heaven here at Spa-Francorchamps. Go! Truly away well. Look at Alonso, look at Schumacher. Cuts across to try and block him. Coulthard, though, is having a go as well. Is he up the inside of Schumacher, who goes round the side-by-side? Kimi's had an incident there. Looks like a Jaguar involved as well. The Sauber and the BAR's caught up in that. But Raikkonen, Martin, certainly involved in an incident there into La Source.
Yes, and Coulthard did make it past Michael Schumacher. Worst-case scenario then for him. Great for Renault and McLaren and Barrichello. Oh, and the car off there. Rear suspension broken off. Wow, just missed him. Sartelen and another spinner. They'll have to red flag it. We've now got a fire, so red flags will have to be out. It says safety car standing by, but I really can't believe it is deployed. But surely they've got a red flag this one. This is Barrichello and Kimi Raikkonen on the top, and now we're going to see. There we go. Yes, they did touch. Webber getting in to the left rear corner, and that's why he hasn't come around. His front suspension's gone completely. Button, it looked like, has already lost his front wing somewhere as well. Total carnage. One Minardi spinning the other off then. And then I have to say Pantano looking like he had a rather silly accident, an unnecessary accident. Button in the pits for a new nose cone.
You know, I'd like to see a replay of the La Source. Here we go, right on cue. Watch out for Raikkonen.
Yeah, Raikkonen just turns in on Massa. That looked like Raikkonen's fault. Already there's a Jaguar nose cone gone. So a Toyota parking itself on the right-hand side, and that sort of triggered a concertina effect, and they were still all together when they got to Eau Rouge.
Here we are at Spa-Francorchamps. The safety car is pulling in, and the cars are go. We're racing then in the Belgian Grand Prix. Trulli, Alonso, Coulthard, Michael Schumacher, you can see going defensive. Raikkonen attacking. Montoya in 6th place. Fisichella 7th. Pizzoni at 8th. 9th. And you can see a pass there. That's Jenson Button going past Ricardo Zonta. Now look at this side-by-side down the hill.
Raikkonen then takes Michael Schumacher. Schumi absolutely asleep on the restart. Has he got a problem? He's now going to be under pressure immediately from Montoya. And the Renault's just scampered away at the front, strung the pack out, and Schumacher didn't seem to be anywhere there or thereabouts. And Montoya having a look around the outside. Michael will certainly soon cut that route off, but he is under pressure. Raikkonen just steaming away in the distance. He's often struggles, of course, when the tyre temperatures and pressures are down, and he looks like he's got no speed at all in that Ferrari at this stage. Michael Schumacher lost another 1.1 seconds in the mid-sector. That's why there's nobody in his immediate vision in front of him. And look, Raikkonen's just so long gone. This is Montoya's one and only chance, I'd imagine, with Schumacher surely, and he had to really get in there early. And look, Montoya said, I'll go around the outside then if that's the trick you're going to play on me. Schumacher with no grip at all. He's down then to P6, and this is Raikkonen and David Coulthard. A Renault 1-2, a McLaren 3-4.
Yeah, Coulthard 3rd, Raikkonen 4th, and the new bus stop, you can overtake at it. The proof, Juan Pablo Montoya round the outside of Michael Schumacher. Sensational move. Smoke and dust coming off the back of Coulthard's car. Contact with the ground, that's completely normal. But Raikkonen has got extra speed. Look at this. He's alongside his teammate. We cut to the 2 Renaults, but where is Raikkonen? At the back, he's side by side, just as Mika Hakkinen was with Michael Schumacher all those years ago. And I think he must have pulled that move off. We can't see yet. The computer's not telling us. We didn't see it because we were looking at something else. There you go. Raikkonen is 3rd. Coulthard down to 4th. Raikkonen always had the speed on Coulthard.
Yes, he had a better run off the top of Radion and the slipstream effect. Now he's got the line into Lecumbe. It took a second out of the Renaults. Raikkonen then with a 45.6, fastest lap of the race, a second faster than the Renaults, and 2 seconds faster than Michael Schumacher. Schumacher still without the speed, but the man on the move by a long way. Kimi Raikkonen currently P3, absolutely flying. 2.2 seconds adrift of leader Trulli then at the end of that last lap.
And here you can see, hitting the pit lane speed limiter, visor up, the race leader then comes into the pits on lap 11. Alonso takes the lead with Raikkonen very close to him now, 1.1 seconds behind. Coulthard also has crossed the line. Montoya goes into fourth. Michael Schumacher's going to go past as Trulli finally reaches the pit box.
Takuma, you were really a victim of events happening up ahead of you in that race, weren't you?
Yeah, really extremely disappointed.
Sorry to interrupt you, Takuma, but we've had a spin there from Alonso, but he has managed to keep going. It's cost him the lead. Raikkonen has gone through. He has rejoined, but, well, that was a very dramatic incident.
Yeah, I think he's just dragging some, I wonder, there he goes again. He's got oil spilling out on his rear tyres, would be pretty sure of it. Alonso then, that is definitely out of the lead. He'll not get out of there. He'll be buried down, and Alonso then, I would be sure, has got an oil leak at the back of the car. Raikkonen leads the Grand Prix. David Coulthard second. Look, turns in normally, and he will be more surprised than we were even when it just swaps ends. And he'll think, how did I make that mistake? I don't think it was his mistake, because he has another sort of pathetic spin, really, and it's totally unpredictable spin when he gets to the bottom of the hill in the hairpin. And that is a McLaren. I think it's David Coulthard with a puncture then. Coulthard, well, just crawling back to the pits, all going off here.
What a dramatic lap. This is lap 12 at Spa-Francorchamps. We've lost race leader Fernando Alonso, and now David Coulthard, who was in second place behind his teammate Kimi Raikkonen, has got a right rear puncture and has got to coast around.
Oh, James, it happened at exactly the wrong moment. The team came out when DC must have just been going up the straight after Eau Rouge, so they knew, he told them on the radio, they knew that he had a problem. The tyres were out. The team is still in the pit lane now and for the unscheduled stop. But is DC going to make it back? He stops on his marks, the fuel hose goes in, so there we are, the race leader changing tyres. He must have been shorter on fuel than David Coulthard, and that's a long stop, isn't it, guys?
So this is the moment now. Schumacher, if he's got a bit more fuel in the car than the others, because clearly he has, he's still out on the racetrack, he's in the lead, and he's got an empty track in front of him as Montoya makes a bit of a move there on Massa, who's got more speed than him. This is a battle for position, 8th place in fact, side by side into Eau Rouge. You can't do it, can you? Surely not. No, and Montoya has to lift, because you can't go side by side through Eau Rouge, certainly not at racing speed.
Now, Massa was entitled to do that. It is for position, as he has not, no, in fact, he has made 2 pit stops as Massa. He's not a lap down though, so you've got to assume that was for position. His 2 pit stops were made under the safety car, and this is heading down the hill. Massa has the racing line. Montoya very close to going straight on there. So that plays beautifully into Michael Schumacher's hands, because Montoya only had just over a second on him before the stop. So his in-lap was solid rather than brilliant, as you say, James. Let's see, with a fresh set of tyres that haven't been round on 4 laps behind the safety car, whether they'll give him more grip and the speed he was expecting to have. Zonta's also pitted in the Toyota, and where's Raikkonen? There then is Montoya. It's cost him, he's still tucked up behind Massa. Michael Schumacher then has cleared Juan Pablo Montoya. Yes, truly with very poor pace at the moment. Michael Schumacher just breezed past him between Blanchimont and the bus stop. No chance for Trulli to go defensive, and no point really. He was missing a good 10 miles an hour there. We just saw Fisichella bouncing across the grass, I think at the Fagnes chicane, losing the many aerodynamic pieces from the side of the car, the barge boards in particular, and that will hurt his progress enormously, make his car virtually undrivable. And now Montoya really on the ragged edge, and he's got less of a run. Trulli, will he try the same move he used on Michael Schumacher? Will Trulli know he's there? No, he will not know he's there. Jarno Trulli then spins out of the race, and Pitzonia passes his teammate.
Yeah, Pitzonia nicks through. Jarno Trulli put into a spin there by Juan Montoya. He knew he was behind him. He knew he was desperate to get past him. But when Montoya tried the same move on Trulli that he put successfully on Michael Schumacher in the early part of the Grand Prix, it put Trulli into a spin.
And Montoya says, well, this has worked once for me, but I'm afraid that kind of was always on the cards, that one. It wasn't as clean. He wasn't as far alongside as he was Michael Schumacher. As Barrichello then with a lot of extra speed against Fisichella and takes the position. Remember, Fisichella, that's 6th place, is minus his barge boards, and his car will be sliding a lot and generally hurting the tyres more and more. Jenson Button shapes up for a look up the inside of Fisichella, and that was candy from a baby. Fisichella's car hard to drive at the moment.
And this is very good thinking, quick thinking from the McLaren. They've seen the same thing that we've seen, that Michael is turning up the wick. And this is another long stop. They're going to think this should get Kimi to the end of the race, guys.
So what's this? Jenson Button.
Jenson Button's got together in a Minardi. And I was just about to say they were going to halve the points advantage Renault has over them. Here at Spa-Francorchamps, Button on target for some points, but look at that. The tyres let go, and the poor old Minardi, absolute passenger in that one. Absolutely shocking luck for him. And Jenson Button, the right rear Michelin, letting go pretty much at the maximum speed point. Lap 32 of the 44-lap Belgian Grand Prix. James Allen and Martin Brundle with you. It's been an extraordinary race, an awful lot of retirements. Jenson Button there, you can see standing at the side of the track. He had a 200-mile-an-hour tyre blowout right on the long straight after Eau Rouge. He collided with Zolt Baumgartner's Minardi. Both of them are out of the race. And here, also out of the race, is Antonio Pizzonia in the Williams. Pulling off to the side of the track then, Pizzonia. We're looking... you can see him on the left-hand side. He's waving at Montoya to go through. Clearly, he knows he's got some problem. Looks like it's with the drive of the car. It's not going at the sort of speed it should be. Right out of the hairpin, you can see he's got no drive. He knew he was in trouble. And, well, he was heading for a podium. Are they tears? Certainly frustration. Down to the bus stop chicane. Montoya can't pass Michael Schumacher until this race is restarted, though.
I wonder if he knows that. He's not close enough to pass him anyway, but Raikkonen playing the games we expected, just backing the pack right up. I almost expected Schumacher to draw alongside and say, get on with it. But at the moment, he's safe from Juan Pablo Montoya, but how long will it take for the Ferrari to get up to speed? At the moment, he looks like he's got better grip. It's Montoya that's locking his wheels. There comes Klein up the inside of Olivier Panis.
That's for points.
Yeah, that is for points for the Jaguar team. Panis is 8th at the moment. Coulthard then, after his tyre blowout, has gained back much of the time lost. He's just behind Jarno Trulli. Yeah, this is going to be a good fight to the end. Fisichella, Klein, Panis, Coulthard, Trulli, all line astern. Raikkonen's lead, 1.3 seconds over Michael Schumacher. Schumacher clearly with a better car than he had at the last restart. Montoya a further 1.2 down, and Coulthard with a better speed on the top of Radion. More speed then into Lecombe, and he takes the position away from Panis. Klein next in David Coulthard's sights.
Just 7 laps to go in the Belgian Grand Prix, and Kimi Raikkonen is leading Michael Schumacher by 1.5 seconds. Raikkonen bidding for his first Grand Prix victory of the 2004 season. Only Jarno Trulli has got up on the top step, apart from Michael Schumacher this year. Can a McLaren driver do it? Raikkonen's been threatening to all summer, and here at Spa-Francorchamps, he's really kept his head. He's driven absolutely wonderfully, and look at this. Juan Montoya was in 3rd place, and that's yet another puncture. We've seen collisions, a lot of collisions this afternoon, and a lot of punctures, but you have to say, particularly the Michelin runners. David Coulthard had one, Jenson Button a spectacular one, now Montoya.
So retirement then, oh what luck, retirement for Juan Pablo Montoya. But just before we go back to you, Pascal Vasselon from Michelin came up to Ron Dennis at McLaren to assure him that these weren't pure tyre failures, that they must have been the result of some debris.
Whoa, absolutely huge impact there. Who is that? It's the leader, is it? Or is it Coulthard? It's Coulthard. David Coulthard, 8th place. Well, he was hit really hard years ago by Michael Schumacher, and look what's happened to him. A piece of bodywork there over his, it looks like his own front wing is over his own rear wing. Absolutely enormous frontal impact. And David Coulthard, who was in a points position, look at this, whack into the back of Klein.
Yeah, he went to pull around the outside of Klein. Klein went to take the normal racing line. DC just a touch too close on the top of Radion, and that could have been a seriously nasty accident. What's the lead? The lead's still 1.1 seconds. We have now just 9 runners, and the safety car's been deployed. and Raikkonen's gone.
Certainly has. Kimi Raikkonen rather telegraphed that one, but Schumacher was right with him, nailed his throttle almost the same place, and you can see the margin, not a huge one for Kimi Raikkonen on this restart. Rubens Barrichello is in third place behind that Jordan of Nick Heidfeld that's managed to resume and get himself in the middle of all that. And then you can see Zonta is there as well, on for fourth place here this afternoon if he can keep it going. Ricardo Zonta replaced Cristiano Di Matta, who was dropped by the Toyota team. And what an amazing turnaround for him in his second Grand Prix for the team, up in fourth place. Behind him is Massa, then it's Fisichella. You can see side by side there with Christian Klein on the way down the hill. That's the battle for sixth and seventh places.
Coulthard could still get a point amazingly. He's right on the back of that pack again. There is Klein, Panis, Trulli, Coulthard, and the Toyota's blown. There'll be cars going through that in the background. The Toyota then of Zonta out of fourth place, then Zonta out of the window. Coulthard got past Trulli in the middle of all of that too. Disaster for young Ricardo Zonta. Two Brazilians who have been so unlucky this afternoon. Raikkonen sets a new lap record, a 1:45.1. He's got some grip, hasn't he? Fuel getting nicely down now as they home in on the end of the Grand Prix. Barrichello up in third place. He was last at one point. He had a new rear wing early on in the race, which is normally a park it and go home. Incredible afternoon of racing, but Raikkonen is absolutely flying. And Coulthard passes Panis. That's for seventh place. He's now got 2 points in the bag, and he'll be having a look at the back of Klein for the second time this afternoon quite soon, and he'll be somewhat more cautious this time.
Well, Kimi Raikkonen absolutely flying. His last lap, a 1:45.1, and that's as fast as anything we've seen here this afternoon. Mesmerising pace from this young man from Finland, Kimi Raikkonen, just 24 years of age. Look at that. Extraordinary pace, the kind of driving we're used to seeing from Michael Schumacher, and now he's going to cross the line to start his final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Schumacher is over 2 seconds behind him, and his world championship is his, provided he can just complete the last lap. He's now 3.5 seconds behind. Surely he's settled for second on the road. It'll hurt him to finish second on the road. He doesn't like it at all, but he will have his 7th world title with Rubens Barrichello third behind him. Nothing he can do to prolong this championship battle. Absolutely flying, total commitment, absolutely amazing performance here. Into the bus stop for the final time. A 27 race losing streak for Kimi Raikkonen comes to an end. He missed out on the world title by only 2 points last year, but he's beaten Michael Schumacher in the Belgian Grand Prix. A magnificent win for Kimi Raikkonen. Well done to him, but Michael Schumacher gets his 7th Formula One World Championship on a truly eventful day for Formula One racing. Some questions certainly to be answered after the Grand Prix, but no doubt who the winner is. It's Kimi Raikkonen, and he's known as the Iceman, but even he could excuse himself for a little emotion now, I think.
When I got past Michael, I got some sort of problem with the downshift. So every time when I tried to downshift, the car was just pushing forward and the gears were not going on. So the whole race I was struggling. I was quite slow on that point, but then sometimes it started to work, and I was turning the switches all the time and tried to get the car back on the finish line. And it wasn't easy to try because that, but at least it was quick enough to win.